Oh man, so great strength seen by Bitcoin, up almost 4% here today, running through to 44,000, which was the price target we set in yesterday's video. Worked perfectly, guys. We're going to walk through the technical pattern, what's happened, and more importantly, what are our next price targets from here. We're going to look at the technicals, we're going to marry that up with what's going on in the wider economy in terms of a fundamental perspective to get an idea of where we're heading to here. So make sure you stay tuned till the very end, guys. As always, don't forget to check out NordVPN, links in the description. Get yourself set up on a VPN to make sure you're staying safe in crypto. Coupon code is OHMAN. Also, guys, if you haven't seen already, I posted a short earlier today introducing our new 60-second club. Yes, we have a 60-second club whereby if you have notifications on, guys, if you have notifications on, and whenever I post a video within 60 seconds, if you like, comment with the hashtag 60secClub, you will be entered into an automatic prize draw, which we'll be doing probably weekly or bi-weekly, and you can win some amazing prizes. Still trying to formulate a few of the different prizes, but things such as crypto drops, some merch, maybe some old man merch, and also things like one-on-one calls where you can discuss anything you want to in terms of crypto or ask me any of your questions one-on-one with me. So make sure you've got your notifications on, you're clicking straight through to the video, commenting with the hashtag 60secClub. Looking forward to having some fun with that, guys. So what are we seeing here in Bitcoin? Beautiful move, guys. If you haven't watched my video from yesterday on what I said was going to happen with crypto, go check that out because it played out exactly as we predicted, right? So you can see here we had this nice downtrend as characterized by this violet line, and we were monitoring this very closely. We got the breakout here about 12 o'clock my time yesterday. Now, when we broke out, remember I said it's very normal to get a retest. And bounce to the upside. Now, look at this retest. We got a retest, but look how aggressive that retest was. Look how deep it was. And this, guys, this on its own, that wick there you can see on that candle, is exactly why trading crypto on a short-term time frame gets a lot of inexperienced people burnt. Let's spend a minute on this because look at that candle there. So that candle single-handedly is wiping out leverage longs. That's all it's doing. The market makers know in this position that there's a whole bunch of longs with stop losses just underneath. Because if you're trading this pattern, the textbook says there's going to be a retest. All the traders know that, right? And so they put a very tight stop loss here because they're on high leverage, so they can't afford to give themselves the room. And they go ahead and they put their stop loss in here. What do the market makers know? We're just going to wick us down, we're going to throw them out, get rid of all those weak hands, those highly leveraged people, and then we're going to go on a big move to the upside. Textbook stuff, exactly what happened. And this is why it's really, really important that you are not trying to time the market unless you are a sophisticated, experienced trader. By that, I mean, you're basically a pro at it. You've done it for years, you've got a proven strategy, and I mean like 3-4 years, not you've done it for 2-3 months and you think you're a professional trader. No, like I traded professionally at Morgan Stanley in foreign exchange, but I still, this is difficult. This is still not something you can do. This is a new asset class, very volatile, highly leveraged with inexperienced traders in there as well, which makes it even harder for the experienced trader. Have you ever played like a computer game or a PlayStation game versus somebody inexperienced who's just button bashing? Sometimes they can beat you, right? Because they're inexperienced and they make irrational moves. And that is why the crypto market is so difficult if trading on the short-term time frame. But if you're in this for the long, it's super easy, very straightforward to do as long as you control your emotions. And exactly what we said would happen. We got the retest here perfectly, and then move out the way, mate. We ran through all the successive horizontal levels which we had to keep an eye on, okay? So you can see here the first level we had to beat through was 43,000. We broke straight through that with this big strong candle at 1 a.m. my time whilst I was snoring. We then consolidated a little bit at our next level, which was 43.5, as expected. Remember, this is tying into the peak here. This is the top of the wedge. This is your technical pattern from this breakout, which was fantastic. But then when we managed to get our second move to the upside, we knew then our next target, as drawn before, was 44,500. And guys, if you think I'm making this up, go watch my previous video. These lines were drawn for a long time. The history is there. I'm historically correct. You can go watch the videos. I've not just created these lines. These are the guidelines from which we place our positions and we understand how the market is moving. Now, we could see we met this price target because we know that was from that line from before as well. Now, what's our next target? Well, a few things can happen from here, guys, that we want to keep an eye on here in the Bitcoin charts from a technical perspective. Is we could come down for a calling off. That would be the most rational thing for us to do now, would be to call off either to 43,500 would be the good case, or a little bit deeper down to 43, or even the peak of here at about 42,800. So a little bit of a calling off would be perfectly fine. Collect some support and then work our way through the target and head towards our next target, which to the upside would be our next peak, which was, there's twofold. So the first one I'm going to look at is here. You can see we got rejected 1, 2, 3 times at this level here, which is your 44,950. Call it 45, right? It's the 45,000 psychological range. And then thereafter, we got rejected by here, the one labeled rejection point. We got rejected here at the 45,500. So those are the levels we need to go up. Basically, they're occurring in $500 increments. We're seeing levels of resistance at each of those patterns. We need good volume to break us through those levels and head to the upside. But overall, things are looking really good here. You can see on the hourly, we're above our EMA ribbon. So we've got some good extension to our EMA ribbon. Plenty of room for a retracement down, guys. If we retrace down to this level, like I said, 43,500, we're just within the second line of our EMA ribbon. That's perfectly fine. No issues there whatsoever. We get a little bit of calling off, even further down, like I said, to 43, and then bounce from there and continue on. If we look at our 4-hourly chart here on Bitcoin, nice strong move, guys. Really nice here. You can see we were consolidating here at the bottom of our EMA ribbon from the 11th all the way up to the 14th, and then that big push through here at midnight, 1 a.m. our time tonight, last night, which really pushed us through. Now we're nice and bullish here on our EMA ribbon, and again, plenty of room to bounce back down, collect some support, and then head on with more vengeance. So really nice. Like I said, guys, anytime you get to your 200 moving average, it's a really nice position for you to start accumulating. Really nice area for you to be accumulating. And here on our 200 day, you can see this big candle we're getting here today on this big move to the upside is really going to enable us to finally close our EMA bullish again. Okay, so you remember a handful of days ago we managed to close bullish, and then we got sent back down as further tensions happen around CPI, Ukraine inflations, this emergency Fed meeting, which wasn't an emergency, and then the 2 days of the weekend, followed by Monday and now Tuesday. Okay, so this is finally going to give us a good clean break. Can we now push through our highs? Because remember, when we got rejected from these levels here, the 45 and the 45 and a half, that was in light of CPI and all the negative news. If we can have a clear run of good news this week with, you know, which we're going to cover off shortly, with the tensions in Ukraine and Russia easing off slightly, maybe less rhetoric around some of the inflation and interest rate issues because we don't have any imminent announcements now until March the 10th. Maybe we can get a good rally in from Bitcoin back up to some of its funner levels, which is first target is we need to get back to our 200-day moving average. Okay, so we need to get to 46,600, and then more importantly, really start heading higher into some of the key levels around here, which is 50,000 psychological level. And then I really want to get into this box. And this box, I keep mentioning it, we've got to get into this box between 57 and 61. That's where the magic is going to happen. That's where the fun's going to happen. But we have to take this step by step and break it down. And right now, the levels I've just shared with you are the key levels I'm focused on over the next hours and days ahead. Okay, so what does this mean? Why is Bitcoin rallying? Why is Bitcoin having such a good day today? Because we have to marry these technicals, which we're seeing and we predicted from just looking at price action, to now tying it up with some of the macro elements. And we can see here, one of the biggest moves of today is that Russia says begin to pull back troops from Ukraine border. NATO urges caution. Okay, so we're getting some sort of messaging / rhetoric around de-escalation, around lessening of tensions, and that's always going to help because what the market does, it prices in the worst. So anytime you're getting something which indicates less than the worst, you can get a calling off in the market. So when we saw on Friday that the increase in tensions, and we saw the statement from the US that all the citizens need to leave, at that point, the market just dumped the Nasdaq 2-3%. It priced in that we're imminent, right? We're going to war. Russia and Ukraine are going into war. That's how it works. So when you get comments like this coming out, the market can start easing off. And you can see that here today. You've got the Dow recovering now up 1.2%. You've got the S&P up 1.4% at the time of recording. And the Nasdaq almost up 2%, making up for some of those losses on Friday, which is impressive. Now, if we look at the crypto market, Bitcoin leading the way, nice 3% move. Ethereum now moving almost 6% today, double the move on Bitcoin. Binance Coin moving 6%. You've got Cardano, a good 5% move today on Cardano. Solana up 5%. Luna up 5%. Avalanche 10%. Polkadot 6%. You've got Polygon, Matic 10%. Okay, so you've got some good moves coming here. Let's take a look. Chainlink 7.3%. Nice. Uniswap 5%. Okay, now these are the numbers that we're expecting. Algorand up 5%. Good. People are starting to understand that's a dip buy. If you haven't watched my Algorand video, make sure you check that here. I give my indication of whether I'm selling. So make sure you watch that so you know what's happening with my portfolio. Phantom up a nice 5.4%, very good. Hedera HBAR up 10%, very good. So we're now starting to see that maybe the market is saying, hang on, we just got through a real ugly period of FUD. right? We had the CPI reading, followed by this emergency meeting, followed by how many interest rates are we going to have, plus, oh, Russia and Ukraine are going to war. That was a lot of FUD. And the stock market was at complete horrible lows. Now are we seeing the opportunities that are starting to recover? We're seeing Bitcoin really take a stance and lead the way and show some really good strength even in tough times, which is really interesting. And I think I figured out why this is happening. And I can point to two kind of geopolitical aspects. And this article kind of summarizes it quite nicely by the Daily Huddle. Geopolitical risks are showcasing use cases of Bitcoin and crypto. And I can think of two things here, guys. So if we kind of scroll down through this article, I mean, very first, you can see here, research shows that Bitcoin donations are flooding into Ukrainian non-governmental organizations and volunteer groups. The crowdfunding activities are, say experts, being used to equip the Ukrainian army with military and medical supplies. So we're seeing, when we're in situations with a bit of geopolitical or political turmoil, we're seeing that the actual use cases of Bitcoin are really starting to pick up. And that's helping the market understand that, hang on a second, yes, we have those that like to treat Bitcoin like a risk-on asset in the short term, but long term, we know it's a hedge against inflation. We know it's a hedge against geopolitical conflict and the failings of fiat currency and the failings of, the world order as we know it, almost like I call it schmuck insurance, right? We're seeing that start to play out, right? We're seeing people actually using Bitcoin in these times of stress. Another example, let's take a look at what's going on in Canada, right? Why is it that Canada is now targeting crypto? So Justin Trudeau, for those who don't know, you've got this Canadian trucking protest around mask mandates and vaccine mandates. They've been protesting since late January, right? And what Justin Trudeau has now done is used emergency powers to ask banks to disclose how much money is in these accounts and also to be able to freeze these accounts on requests of anybody who's getting involved suspiciously with these protests. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Just showing how centralized the world is and reminding the world that this is the mission that crypto is on. And this is the stuff I love, guys. This is what's really going to push the agenda for crypto and push the price for crypto long term, more so than us worrying about a technical pattern or us worrying about certain little indicators which we monitor every single day. This is going to put it on the radar because people in Canada, as we speak right now, will be taking their cash. There's a bank run right now in Canada where people are running to their bank asking for their money back. And guess what they're going to do? They still need to spend their money. They're going to have to put it into crypto. They're going to have to go through the decentralized routes. Not Coinbase, not these guys. Go to the decentralized routes. Use privacy coins such as Monero, which makes these things, these are the themes we need to be thinking about right now, making them more in demand, right? Because the reality is this whole movement started with true decentralization. We've created easy onboard through centralized processes such as your Binance, your Coinbase, your KuCoins, with Know Your Customer, AML, anti-money laundering. We've done that to make it easy for people to come into crypto. But the real mission case of crypto is to address issues like this. And this is an issue in a first world country, which is bringing it home to a lot of people, that this is not just about what's going on in Venezuela or El Salvador, or if you're in Nigeria or Pakistan. It's not just about these countries. This is a first world country taking liberties and reminding you that we're in a centralized world where we can control your money. You don't own your money. And that rhetoric is really important. And we're seeing it happen right now, that has helped push the Bitcoin price up and reminds us that the long-term narrative is that Bitcoin is this store of value. It's this anti-geopolitical, anti-fiat currency, anti-world 1.0 insurance against all those things going wrong, okay? So really interesting macroeconomic elements and insights there, guys. Don't forget to check the Fear and Greed Index, which is sitting at 46 today, which is showing we're getting a little bit of stabilization there. Yesterday we had 46 as well, so we're getting a bit of a stabilization there. The market's not very fearful. Remember, it wasn't long ago we were in the 10s, 18s, and these kind of scores. So 46 is good. We're neutral. We're not super excited, and we got room to be super excited, right? When we start getting back to those highs, that's when you'll start to see a lot of greed come in. So now's a good time if you were waiting for the perfect time to come in. Now's a good time after you get a retest to start dollar cost averaging your positions. I personally don't know if anybody who are trying to time the market is trying to get in right now. It's a difficult thing to do. And this is why I don't recommend people selling and trying to time their way in, because how do you get in now when you have massive pumps like this in a single day? You just get FOMO, and then the moment you get FOMO is when the market makers will trigger your liquidations. So I fully expect a lot of retracements to the downside yet, because there's going to be a lot of those market makers who want to liquidate and create false starts, because it's easy money. A lot of people trying to pile in right now with their cash on the sidelines, put in 100x leverage. they're going to keep liquidating you. So expect a lot of false starts and then a move to the upside. False start, move to the upside. Very hard for anybody who sold out to get back in. If you are on the sidelines, just try to be very careful. Dollar cost average your way in. Don't use obvious support and resistance levels, because that's where market makers will be using those levels and the visibility of your orders to trigger your stop losses and liquidation. So be very, very careful. As always, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you appreciate this blend between technicals and fundamentals here on Bitcoin and the wider crypto market. No doubt I'll post a video on Phantom later on today, so make sure you like the video, subscribe and watch that video. Also go check out the Algorand video from earlier today. Don't forget to join the 60-second club. If you haven't watched that short, there's a good short which I posted earlier today, a 60-second or so video explaining exactly how you can become a member of the 60-second club. Doesn't cost you a penny. You just have to be part of this community, engaged, and you could be winning prizes. As always, guys, NordVPN, link in the description. Make sure you're staying safe in crypto. Coupon code is ALLMAN. If you haven't set yourself up on a VPN, guys, how many times do I have to remind you guys? Really important that you do so. I personally do not have any device where I'm not logged into a VPN. It's like the first point of call. It's a basic. It's not going to protect you from everything, but it's the most basic thing you can do, which you should definitely have set up. It's like not closing your front door. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, smash the like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.